Hello there, guys, and welcome to Daily Updates. After taking so much time in the negotiations, the President of South Africa has finally decided on his cabinet, which was yesterday, the 30th of June 2024, and that cabinet comprises of 32 ministers and 43 deputy ministers. In total, it is 75 officials employed by the President, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa.
The establishment of the Government of National Unity in its current form is unprecedented in the history of our democracy.
The deployment of 75 officials is just proving to the people of South Africa that politicians are hypocrites. If you look back, a lot of political parties and politicians have been criticizing the ANC for the fact that the cabinet is too big. But today, we have the biggest cabinet comprising of 75 officials, 32 ministers, and 43 deputy ministers. That is going to be a lot of money to the public purse. We are going to be paying these people a lot of money, close to $1 billion in a year, for all these 75 people that have been deployed by the President of South Africa. If you ever thought that politicians are people you can trust, just know that they think about themselves more than any other person. In today's episode, we focus on the best and the worst deployments by the President of South Africa out of the 75 officials. In no particular order, the first worst deployment goes to Angie Motshekga. She was the Minister of Basic Education, and now she's been given the portfolio of defense and military veterans. It looks like the president cannot fire or demote Angie Motshekga because going from education, where we have 30% as a passing mark, and now she's going to defense and military veterans. One would have thought, why did they not just give her military veterans instead of saying defense? Because when you give someone who couldn't do a good job in basic education and you give that person defense, it's like you're playing with the trust of South Africans. When are they going to decide on putting her aside and deploy someone with the capabilities? What is Angie Motshekga going to give the defense? Ramaphosa knows very well that the people of South Africa are not happy with what Angie Motshekga has been doing in basic education. To give her that portfolio of defense is a big worry. Another worst deployment by the President of South Africa goes to Blade Nzimande. From higher education, now he's been given science, technology, and innovation. If really you couldn't improve and do your best in higher education, what gives us the idea that in terms of technology, in terms of innovation, you are going to do any improvement? That is an insult in terms of deployment. Angie Motshekga, Blade Nzimande, they are in the same cycle in terms of the worst deployment by the president in this GNU. Another deployment, which I think a lot of people are going to disagree with me, is John Steenhuisen. The leader of the DA has just been given the Minister of Agriculture. I don't think he has the capability for this post. I think he should have just been the leader of the DA and not get any position. Unfortunately, as that leader, Ramaphosa has given him the portfolio of agriculture. At number 4, from Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Gwede Mantashe is now the Minister of Minerals and Petroleum Resources. It seems like the President of South Africa cannot take Gwede Mantashe away from minerals. He was a miner, as he said, but they cannot take him away from those minerals. I wonder what is the decision regarding Gwede Mantashe. Gwede Mantashe has been in the ANC for such a long time. He's been getting positions for so many years. He was there when we had load shedding. Now it was the opportunity for Ramaphosa to say that I am taking Gwede Mantashe away from any portfolio. But no, he still puts him as the Minister of Minerals and Petroleum Resources. They keep changing these names, but this thing is the same as the one he was occupying before. Another worst deployment, it is a minister who retains a seat in the portfolio of tourism. I think they should have come with a different person than Patricia de Lille. She retains that seat, but really, there is no value that is being added to that department. I think Ramaphosa should have looked around and came up with a new blood, someone younger, who's going to bring change to that portfolio. The last one on the list, Sisisi Tolashe. She goes from being the Deputy Minister of Women, Youth and Persons with Disability and now the Minister of Social Development. I mean, does the ANC not have young people who have the capabilities? Does the ANC not have people who are qualified to lead us? It seems like we are going to complain every day about the fact that ANC keeps rotating the same people. We complain about you, they go and rotate you and put you somewhere else. What difference are you going to make? All these people that have been put here, the majority come from the ANC. As long as they are being rotated, we are not going to get services. We are going to complain about the same thing, and a year later, the president might want to go back and say that we are reshuffling because of the fact that you keep rotating the same mistakes that we are having in the country. After looking at the worst appointments by the President Ramaphosa, we also need to applaud him for some promising appointments in the form of Belenkosi Hlabisa, Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Minister, Nobuhle Nkabane, the Minister of Higher Education, Gayton Mackenzie, the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Osienso Ramokgopa, the Minister of Electricity and Energy, Siviwe Kwarube, the Minister of Basic Education, Bantu Holomisa, the Deputy Minister of Defense and Military Veterans, which I think they should have made him the minister instead of the deputy minister. If really you have to choose an old person, as you don't have any young person that can lead that Ministry of Defense, maybe pick Bantu Holomisa as that minister instead of the deputy, because we know that NG doesn't deserve that post. You might as well give it to Bantu Holomisa instead of taking all that defense and giving it to NG. I mean, they could have made Bantu Holomisa the Minister of Defense and made NG Motshekga the Minister of Military Veterans. That is the perfect seat for NG Motshekga. Also, the Minister of Health, Aaron Motsoaledi, and the Deputy Minister of Health, Joe Pahla. I think the two can really work together in terms of improving that health ministry. Those two will have to work together to really deliver service in health. Lastly, on the list of good appointments by the President of South Africa, we have the Deputy Minister of Transport, Mkhuleko Hlengwa. Those are the officials that can really bring a breath of fresh air to the cabinet of Ramaphosa. I'm sure there are other ministers that are going to do a good job, but it's only a matter of time until they prove themselves. To those that are the worst, really, we wish that soon Ramaphosa can reshuffle you and put the qualifying people on those positions. We need South Africa to go forward, but the fact that they are retaining the same people who are not bringing change to South Africa, it is a big worry. But really, we can only complain and hope that the president can see it the way the rest of the people are seeing it.